Just a quick video intro for the thumb four-wheel steer mod. I got kits for these mods. The prices are on my Facebook. They are $30 if you just want the kit to do it yourself. Everything you need in the bag. You get a metal knob, you get the potentiometer, you get the wire, and of course you get to look at these videos for free, so you know how to do it. Anyways, that's where it goes. I'm also using this for my winch. So my winch on my C2 rig, I can go slow or fast with it. My winch is too fast as it is, so this is going to be huge. I can pay out fast and pay in slow or however I want it. This is also the Chunkiie Customz thumbsteer. It uses the original foam, and it's awesome. You can one hand drive when you're on the trail, and if you got your other hand, you can use this. It's awesome. Anyone with four-wheel steer or winch, I highly suggest you use this. It's a game changer. Yeah, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. You'll see all the little videos I made to show you how to do this. It's not easy, but it's not hard. Anyone can do it. It's just going to take some patience. Good luck. So as you can see, I already took the plugs out. I laid them out in order because they all are different sizes. So I lay them out in order so you can put them back in the right hole, or you're going to be sitting there moving around trying to figure it out. I got all the screws out already too. You guys figured that out. Take this guy off. Just pop it off. You get a screwdriver under there and slowly pull it out. Take that guy off, and yeah, you're pretty much ready to come apart at that point. And yeah, I'll take another video and show you the next part. You don't need to watch the whole thing. I'm sure people can figure out how to take the screws out. Just keep pulling them out till it comes apart. But yeah, that channel 4, I think it is, that channel 4, you do have to pull that guy out. And when you do pop it out open, these guys will fall off. Just make sure they can only go in one way, but make sure that you got them in properly when you're putting it back together. And the back on-off button can also slide out as well. Watch for that. And these guys gotta come off as well. And this guy. Yeah. And yeah, I'll show you the next step in a bit. Okay, so we got it apart there. We got the top knobs off already. Now, there is an antenna wire right here. It's pretty short, so what I suggest is just popping it off very gently, making sure you put it back on after. If you don't put that on, it will not work. Now, all the wires are kind of short, so you're going to have to be careful here. Do not undo all the wires off the board. You will have a hard time putting them all back in the right way. And all you need to do out here is the outside screw. So this screw here, this screw here, and the same on the opposite side. And you gotta pull this little guy off as well. Okay, so we got that part done. Now this guy here, that's the channel 5, which we're going to take off. Carefully bend it up and out of the way. Then you're going to take your side cutters and snip off 1, 2, 3. Cut them clean off. Don't try and, you can try and take it off, like desolder them off the board, but it's going to be nearly impossible. But yeah, so just cut it there, and don't lose these little guys. They come out of there. They'll pop off the board here and here, and be careful when putting those back together too, because they only go one way. You can actually see once you start getting them back together, you'll notice, like, here, I'll show you, like this one has got a ridge on it, like a little divot cut out, so that one's gonna go in that one. The other one's got a little nipple coming out of it. Well, that's gonna go on, oh sorry, the little one, that one's gonna go on that one. The other one's gonna go on the other one. But yeah, you'll see it. As soon as you start to put the stuff together, it can only go back in one way. Like, you can't put them in backwards. If you did, it would not go back together properly. But yeah, so we're gonna cut that off. And then we're gonna get our soldering iron out and solder 3 wires onto this side. right here. So you're gonna get your wires trimmed and just tin them quick. Now, sorry, this is gonna be hard to see on the video. I need to get a camera stand, but so we tin this. There's already solder on the board. This is the underside of the board. The top side, this side, is where we cut the potentiometer off. And all I do is press. It's gonna be hard to do this elevated and on video, is press this up on the board where you want it. Right now it doesn't matter what order we do these in, just pick a color and go. Try and do it so you guys can see it. Might not be able to work. Get it nice and hot and just hold it there and let it cool down. Oops. Yeah, I can't do this. It's too hard up there. It's wiggling around. I can't put any pressure on it. And I don't think you'll be able to see it down there, but shit. Anyways, I'll get it on here and then I'll show you after. So that's literally all I do is I take the wire that's already tinned, so I already put some solder on there, right? That's what cold tinning is. And there's already solder on the board. So all I do is take the wire, push it right onto the board where the solder is, press and hold it here and press it down. You'll feel when, like, this solder will melt first, obviously, but as it gets to the board, maybe 5 seconds, it'll melt the solder on the board and you'll feel it press down. Then continue to hold the wire, let go of the solder. A second or two later, that wire's on there and you're good. Again, cleanliness is key when soldering, guys. You should know that. Keep that thing clean. If you have tip tinner, I use it every time. Solder, for the flux, I would not use flux on this stuff unless you have liquid flux. I do have liquid flux, so I use liquid flux, but if you just got the paste stuff, it's not really super beneficial for this unless you can water it down. Like this stuff, it's too hard. You'd have to like water it down, mix it up. I use the liquid stuff. It's quite expensive, so if you're not using it regular, it's like 30 bucks a bottle. So if you're not going to use it more than just for this, I wouldn't even worry about it. But this is the finished product here. This is what it should look like. Now you're going to do all three of those. And you're going to do all three. And let's get a potentiometer here. So when you're looking at the board, you're going to have 3 wires coming off. This is the same as a brushless motor that has 3 wires. You're going to have, don't think about the colors. Just think about middle, left, and right. The middle one is the big one. You want the middle one to go on the middle of here. So if you're looking at the board, like so, you want that to line up like that. So that blue wire would go on this far edge. The center one's going to go to the center, and the left one's going to go to the left. If you get the 2 outside ones backwards, it doesn't matter. In your controller, you can switch it to go the opposite direction. That's what's great with these. That middle one has to be in the middle of this. Yeah, that's about it. So solder the other wires on, solder them onto here. So for this, it's a little bit easier. It's not right there. You can clamp it in your helping hands and do the same thing if you got helping hands. If not, ask a friend for help. And we'll see you in a little bit for the next part. Now this is what it should look like when you're done. See how I got this straight here? Bottom of the board, middle there to the middle here, yellow. Blue on the right, blue on the right, green on the left, green on the left. Now again, doesn't matter if you switch, but the yellow just has to be in the center. I want to make sure everyone knows the yellow's got to be in the center. Well, in this case, center to center. Yeah, so we got that. Now we are going to drill. So I start off using, you can start off using a small drill bit and then make it bigger with this. This is, you're not going to crack it this way. You're not going to make it too big. You can drill a bit and then check it. Drill a bit and then check it. Drill a bit and then check it. And the spot that I like to put it is right around here. Right there. That's where I like it. Because then you can still have room here to use your channel 3, and you can still use channel 4 as well. So it'll put it right here, right in the center. So it's easy to hit with your thumb, but you can also, if you have a thumb steer, you can still use your thumb steer, and you can still get to channel 4 and channel 3. Yes, it's going to make it harder to get to channel 4, but really, I don't think you're going to be using channel 4 once you got that guy there. But yeah, I'll show you the finished design at the end of the video. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll drill that. We're going to get it glued in, and then we'll show you how to route the wires, start putting it back together. Okay, so we got our hole drilled out. That's right where she goes. It gives you enough room on the back side for the switch to go in. Now, you can go two ways. You can have this pointed down or this pointed up, like on the side of the remote itself. So you can have it like that or like that. It all depends how you put that in, because the set screw is on the bottom of this. That means flat side of this right here will have to go that way if you want that line facing upwards. If you want it facing downwards, go that way. To me, I really don't care. I'm not looking at it when I'm using it. It's my fucking thumb. I just want it centered. So get yourself a hot glue gun and figure out which way you want to put it. You're going to hot glue it in. Now when you're hot gluing it in, because you have to make it a little bit bigger so that it can spin in there, right? So you hot glue it in, you want to hold it just to make sure it's level. You don't want an angle like that because you're not going to get your knob on all the way. Make sure it's just nice and level. And hot glue away. You can use something more permanent if you'd like. I use hot glue on mine and I had no issues whatsoever. For this one, I'm going to go this way. Just because on this one, these potentiometers, see if you go this way, you can go this way with it so that your line is straight up and down. But, and this is a big but, you will have to trim down this fella. That one edge on the inside you will have to trim down so it will clear just a little bit. But again, you can move this up a little bit further up this way, but then remember, you're going to impede more on your other switches. So I like it that way, and I put my line going down because I'm not going to be looking at it. Just make sure, big one is have it straight up and down when you glue it in. I usually just like tack in place, put a little bit of glue, then I'll come back and like fully fill it in after. Then just check your tolerances after. Like I usually get a little too much extra glue on this side and I'll have to go and cut it with the knife just to get it out of the way. Then you can route your wires. You can route your wires and get this end in first, but I find it's easier to do this, then put this board down and get everything wrapped up like that, because you don't want to touch the wires on that. That's your vibrator, and you don't want to get your wires around this or around any of the other switches. So we got her partly back together. I routed my wires around this way because there's a vibrator right here. So we're on that way. Put a piece of tape up here because you don't want it to rub on your throttle. Screw that piece back in, and then you can route it however way you want. Like you can even cut it shorter before you do this, these wires, but I like having a little extra play just to make it easier to put in. I can always shove the wires down here. There's a little path through here. Shove the wires down and push them up as you go. So now we are going to put our buttons, these two, back in here. We already put our channel 3 in. I'm going to put the buttons back in there. And you're gonna put these ones back in the side over there, and you're gonna make sure your antenna is put back on over there, and you're gonna put those screws back in next. So at this point you should be looking like that. So we got all the screws in, we got this back on, got our wires routed. Now I'm going down this way, and I'm gonna hold that there as I squeeze it on. I just like having a little bit extra wire to deal with. You can't add wire on later. So, but again, you can cut 1.5 inches or so off this wire, and you won't have to do that little jaunt there. Oh, so I didn't show before either, but I actually took this knob and glued it in ahead of time. So with this off, I took that, put it upside down, and I put glue on it to cover that up. Going forward, I'm going to try and 3D print a plug that you can glue in from this side. But that's the way it is for now, just because with that potentiometer gone, it's just a big hole in there. Any water, anything gets in down on that circuit board, and it's game over. So that's glued in there, not going anywhere. So we got our tape on, that's on. Got our antenna wire back hooked up. You can just see it there. No wires are near the vibrator in there. No wires are near our throttle. Tape's holding it there out of the way. Always, after you get this together, check here. Before I close it up, make sure they're both clicking. Make sure you're clicking here. You can put this one on, make sure it's going as well. Good to go. Just want to make sure everything's working properly, because if one of these wires are touching or a little bit of glue when you go to do that, it's not going to work. Then you're going to have to take it all apart again. So it's better to just give it a quick check right now. You can even put the batteries in it and do a quick test before you even get this thing back together. I haven't had an issue, so I don't. It doesn't take all that much longer to get it back to this state anyways. So yeah, so now got that on. Oh, make sure your on-off switch is back in, and those plugs are in as well, these ones here. And also make sure, see, I just one-handed it and it popped out. But also make sure those are clicking as well before you screw it all down. So yeah, obviously I'm gonna have to redo those ones. Only takes a minute. Pull that out of the way. Yeah. So just make sure everything's working. Then you can put this rubber seal on right here. Make sure that goes back on first, and then start screwing it back together. And we'll see you at the next step. So also, if you're going to be doing this in a vehicle that you already have a winch or whatever set up, do yourself a favor, go into your endpoint adjustments for channel 5 and turn it all the way down. And do it for right too, and just turn it all the way down. I'm not going to do it because it's just on the bench anyways, but turn them all the way down. This way when you do turn it on for the first time, it's not, you don't have this the wrong way and you oversteer and break something. Just FYI. So this is the new one, we already got it linked. Yeah, there we go. It's as easy as that. I'm gonna put a thumb steer on this one too, so the thumb steer will be here. I have them there just like this. But yeah, so there's center, all the way left, all the way right, back to center. But normally, so you can change your endpoints and your dual rate, so you only have to turn it a little bit. That's what I would prefer, is just to turn it a little. But yeah, she's all done, guys. Any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'm gonna finish buttoning this thing up, and back in the box it goes.